Super Tuesday, I believe, is the most important day of the entire primary.
And we anticipate winning many of them.
At some point, you can't just say whatever pops into your head.
I call them lightweight.
There is no room in this party for that.
Well, it is Super Tuesday indeed. We're going to break down what's at stake for all the candidates and how important today is for the people who are starting to fall behind.
Plus, the man accused in the death of a woman found in a fire is expected in court today. Find out how police connected him to her death.
Also, today's a big day at the UConn campus, the school welcoming its newest athletic director.
Good Tuesday morning. We're certainly glad you're with us. Starting off your day with us here on Fox, Connecticut's Good Day Connecticut, America Areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Glad you're with us. I woke up this morning. It was windy. I wasn't expecting really windy.
Actually, I was walking in and I was thinking, how spoiled are we? Because I didn't wear a jacket.
Yeah.
I just put on a sweater. And as I'm walking from the car into the building, I'm like, oh, I should have put on a jacket.
It's all right, though. All things considered, we got a little bit of a cool down. But it's going to get better after that.
Yeah, and I think maybe some rain later in the week.
That's okay. We need some of it, right, Joe?
Good morning, Joe.
Hey, Erica. Hey, Timmy. Hey, guys. Yeah, you got some rain coming in.
Well, it is Super Tuesday, and the Democratic and Republican presidential candidates are going to battle it out in more than a dozen states to try to win as many delegates as they can. And maybe the biggest question, at least on the Republican side, can Donald Trump cement his status as the front runner, or will other people get a chance to chip away at him?
And over on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton is hoping to start locking out rival Bernie Sanders, but he is proving to be a tougher challenger than expected. Fox 61's Angelica Spanos is joining us now to break it all down. Angelica?
Erica, Tim, good morning to you guys. Well, candidates, of course, are looking for as many wins as possible today, but a few states will stand out as the crown jewels here, or places where they really want to win. Now, the delegates on the line today represent about 1/3 of those needed to clinch the party for Super Tuesday. Tim?
Well, thank you, Angelica. 6:07 now. The man who is accused of killing a woman who was found dead inside a Hamden house fire is set to appear in court today. 26-year-old Benjamin Carpenter was arrested last month. Police said cell phone data show Carpenter was at the home on Lilac Avenue minutes before the fire was reported. This was back on December 26th. That fire was considered suspicious because the injuries that 45-year-old Jennifer Antonier had weren't consistent with a fire. Well, the man who is charged in connection with the death of his 2-year-old son is expected to be sentenced today. David Mahan and his girlfriend were both charged with reckless endangerment and other charges. Court documents revealed that Mahan's girlfriend left the boy and his 1-year-old brother alone, locked in a room. Police believe he choked on some cereal that was left in the room and then later died.
A New Haven babysitter is expected to be sentenced today in the death of a 1-year-old boy. 29-year-old Kinjal Patel was found guilty of manslaughter after a guilty plea under the Alford Doctrine. Now, that means that she does not admit guilt, but she does concede that there's enough evidence to convict her of the crime. She's going to spend the next 14 years behind bars. Police say Patel told detectives that she was babysitting the child in January of 2014 when she became angry with the little boy and pushed him in the face, causing him to fall backwards and hit his head. Also happening today, the president of the Connecticut State Colleges and Universities is going to testify to support affirmative consent on college campuses. Mark Ojakian is also supporting aid to undocumented students. It's set to begin at 11 this morning at the Legislative Office Building in Hartford.
Well, it's the first day of a new chapter at UConn. The school is set to introduce its new athletic director later this morning.
Yeah, it only took less than a month to find a replacement for Ward Manuel, who is now off to the University of Michigan. Fox 61's Sean Bergano is joining us now live from Stores with more on the athletic department's new top dog. Sean, good morning.
I'm Sean Bergano, Fox 61 News.
Thank you, Sean. Coming up this morning, a big win for Apple in its fight against the FBI. We'll tell you what a judge said about the company maybe not being forced to hack into iPhones.
And police are still trying to figure out why a 14-year-old brought a gun to school, shooting 2 of his classmates. Stay with us. Well, it's a win for Apple as the FBI continues its fight against the tech giant. A federal judge in New York ruled investigators cannot force Apple to unlock an iPhone owned by a convicted drug dealer. The government had requested Apple to break the phone security code without wiping out the data. The computer company is currently being pressured by federal investigators to break into 13 iPhones across the country. Now, that does include the phone belonging to one of the San Bernardino shooters. Apple has complied with similar requests from the government in at least 70 other court cases. A former hospital worker is expected to plead guilty in the slayings of 2 college students in Virginia. An attorney announced the plea agreements in Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr.'s cases. He's charged with murder in the deaths of Hannah Graham and Morgan Harrington. Now, without this plea agreement, he could face the death penalty. Graham was a UVA student who disappeared in 2014. Harrington was attending a concert on the campus when she vanished back in 2009.
2 students were shot in Ohio after a 14-year-old student pulled a gun out in an Ohio school cafeteria. Police said there's still no motive as to why that student brought the gun to school. The 2 people who were shot were taken to the hospital and are expected to be okay. 2 other students were also hurt while trying to get away. The Secretary General of NATO said that the ceasefire in Syria is holding well. This despite some concerns that military buildup from Russia is increasing throughout the area. The Secretary General said airstrikes are targeting not only ISIS, but other opposition groups. He also said there's no plans right now for any ground troops to enter the area.
6:15, let's get and check on the traffic with Rachel. What's going on, Rachel?
All right, not too much, guys.
Very close, but at the moment, not happening. And right now, it looks like the weekend's fine. Upper 30s to low 40s with a mix of sun and clouds. Could be another snow shower Sunday. Otherwise, other than a few flakes, no problems. And, well, if it's okay, maybe temperatures up 60 to 65 by the middle of next week, Erica.
All right, Joe, thanks. 6:20 up next, USA Soccer has a new look. We're going to break down the inspiration for this new design. Stay with us. The U.S. Soccer Federation has been working on a new design for its crest for almost 2 years now.
And just yesterday, that brand new look was officially revealed. Here's Maggie Sliz to show it to us. Good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. That's right. Now, before I show you the new one, this is the old crest. Might be the one that you're familiar with. It's got the flying soccer ball. U.S. Soccer has been using this one for the past 20 years now. But there's a new look for U.S. Soccer. There it is right there.
It looks really cool.
Yeah,
clean and simple.
No complaints.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Maggie. Well, coming up in the next half hour here on Good Day Connecticut, we're going to hear what Governor Malloy is doing to try to cut down the growing state budget deficit. Sean.
And there's a new top dog in the athletic department here at UConn. I'm Sean Pagano live at Stores. We'll introduce you to the new AD coming up. You are watching Good Day Connecticut.
All right, good morning with that, right? We're waking you up here at 6:30. We're taking a live look, checking out the view from our Farmington City Cam. Looking at Harper.
Yeah.
You can see it there. At least
Looking
we can
good.
see it, right?
That's a
The other
plus.
day we couldn't. It was just way too foggy.
Yeah.
And we're listening to The Who Won't Get Fooled Again.
And we're playing that for you because singer Roger Daltrey turns 72 years old today. The kids are all right. Problem is, they're just not kids anymore.
No, although Pete, one of our floor guys, he said they're only 70.
Only 70. 70 is the new 40 in rock and roll these days. You know that? Wow.
We're glad you're with us here for Good Day Connecticut, American Areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Glad you're with us. A very, very busy Tuesday. It's Super Tuesday with the primaries coming on. But I felt like going a little spring. I don't wear green all that much. But meteorologically, it's the first day of spring. There's certainly a lot of green out there. So
it's feeling kind of like spring. I mean, usually you say March comes in like a lion, out like a lamb, but it's kind of feeling like the opposite, at least today.
I don't want the opposite. I don't want it to come in like a lamb and somehow it's 20
like
degrees.
I know. Well, because you know what? I mean, I was talking to Joe about this yesterday. Remember the April Fool's snowstorm?
Which year was that?
I don't
they start
remember
to
what
run
year.
together.
I mean, it must have been more than.
Yeah.
Was it like 20 years ago, Joe?
What's that?
The April Fool's snowstorm?
Yeah, we hit 1997.
Okay.
That's the Sleepy's, the only mattress professionals traffic report. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Rachel. 6:33 now here on the first day of a new chapter at the University of Connecticut. The Huskies are set to introduce their new athletic director later this morning.
And it only took less than a month to find a replacement for Ward Manuel, who's now, as we know, off to the University of Michigan. Fox 61 Sean Pagano is joining us live from Stores now with more on the athletic department's new top dog. Sean?
Yeah, good morning. 44-year-old David Benedict will be formally introduced. Sean Pagano, Fox 61 News.
All right, Sean, thanks. Well, the budget crisis continues as the deficit continues to grow. Governor Dana Malloy is taking action to try to cut it down.
Fox 61's Amanda Rouse joins us now from Studio B to explain more. Good morning.
Good morning, Tim and Erica. Governor Dana Malloy is canceling raises for nearly 2,000 state managers. The Hartford Current reports those raises were expected sometime this week, but they have since been axed to save the state nearly $3 million for the current fiscal year and $10 million for the next. More cuts will have to happen, though, if the state wants to cut down on the deficit, which clocks in at $266 million this fiscal year and nearly $900 million for the next fiscal year. In a letter, the governor's chief of staff said that the state can't move forward with raises when it's looking at cuts to state programs as well as eliminating state jobs. Now, the state Supreme Court will determine whether to cancel raises for about 200 judicial branch managers, and legislative branch employees already received increases last July. Tim and Erica.
Well, thank you so much, Amanda. She was getting dressed in the privacy of her hotel room only to find out that she was being videotaped, and then those images were spread all across the internet. Sportscaster Erin Andrews is now suing the hotel that she says allowed it all to happen.
Now, the man who filmed the video has already served prison time. Fox News correspondent Robert Gray has more.
I feel so embarrassed and I'm so ashamed.
Sportscaster Erin Andrews takes the stand in a Nashville courtroom on Monday. She's suing a hotel she says should have done more to protect her from a stalker. That man secretly videotaped Andrews naked in her room. In a taped deposition, Michael David Barrett explained how he figured out which room Andrews was in at the Nashville Marriott.
I had picked up the house phone and I called the operator and asked him what room. I said, could I have Erin Andrews' room? They connected me on house phones, concierge phones and things. It shows the room number on those so that I knew what room she was in.
Barrett altered the peephole in the door to Andrews' hotel room and videotaped her coming out of the shower. He was eventually convicted in connection with the incident and sent to prison for 2.5 years. Andrews described what happened when she first found out about the video.
I called my parents. I was just screaming that I was naked all over the internet and I didn't know what it was. And my dad was like, he thought I had been in a car accident. He's like, why are you screaming? And I'm just like, Dad, I'm naked all over the internet.
Andrews says she is constantly reminded of the naked video.
This happens every day in my life. Either I get a tweet or somebody makes a comment in the paper or somebody sends me a still of the video to my Twitter or someone screams it at me in the stands and I'm right back to this.
Andrews is suing the Nashville Marriott for $75 million. In Los Angeles, Robert Gray, Fox News.
Well, thank you, Robert. Coming up next on Good Day Connecticut, it's a homecoming for Scott Kelly today. We'll tell you how he's going to be coming down from the International Space Station.
At 6:39 on Tuesday. Stay with us. You are watching Good Day Connecticut. Tim and I will be right back.
Astronaut Scott Kelly is glad to be headed home today after spending nearly a full year in space.
Of course, it was all for scientific research. Dan Amarante is joining us with much more now. Dan?
Yeah,
today's a big day.
It's the big day. He's been dreaming about this for almost a year because he's starting to get kind of angry with being up there. Not necessarily angry, but just tired of sitting in this like SUV-sized thing and not being able to smell fresh air or, you know, a nice breeze or walk on his legs. Those are things I'm sure he misses, and he's been tweeting about it as well.
I can imagine.
Yeah. After setting the record for more time spent in space than any other American, Scott Kelly will board a Russian Soyuz capsule this afternoon and make his descent back down to our home planet.
The tail end of a long road trip, though, you know.
Exactly.
Kazakhstan's the last stopover.
Exactly. As long as you get some food service on the plane.
Yeah,
seriously.
Some real food?
Exactly.
Some ribs.
Whatever he wants, I'm sure. All right, guys, we've had a couple of things this morning, most of which have cleared up. We had some debris.
Available free right now for iOS and Android devices, Erica.
All right, Joe, coming up for you. We're going to meet this hedgehog. He just started a very strict diet. We'll explain why, and you have to stay with us. You just got to hear his name.
Yes.
You have to hear what his name is.
It makes sense. And then coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, a judge comes down with a ruling in the case of the Subway footlongs that weren't exactly footlongs. We'll tell you what the restaurant chain's being forced to do now as a result. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers was among the many guests at the Oscars on Sunday night. The NFL tweeted out a picture of him and his girlfriend, Olivia Munn. But because of the colors they were wearing, one football team, a rival one, tried to tease them. The Chicago Bears tweeted out a response to the photo saying, "Everyone wants to wear the Bears blue and orange." Well, that didn't last long because a former teammate of Rodgers, Tom Crabtree, saw the tweet and came back with this. Well, he owns you, so he can do what he wants with your colors. Rodgers does own the Bears. He's 12-4 against them in his career.
Well, this next car is bringing new life to the phrase waking up in a new Bugatti. The car maker says it's about to break the record for the fastest car in the world. It's called the Chiron. Its Veyron model is already named the world's fastest car by Guinness back in 2013. Now, we still don't know how fast this one can go, but it's been capped at 260 miles per hour for road use. I'm not sure where it's going to go 260, on a regular road.
Right.
Regardless, its base price is $2.6 million.
Whoa.
It looks, it's kind of Bat Car-esque.
It is Bat Car-esque, yes. 2.6 million, it better be Bat Car-esque. That's some weaponry on it or something. All right, moving on to something completely different. It isn't just humans who have to go on diets. Turns out hedgehogs have to as well.
Check this one out. A wild hedgehog living in a rescue center in the UK weighed nearly 3 times the weight of the average hedgehog. So he was put on a diet.
Yeah, its previous owner had been overfeeding him, and apparently the little guy, or not so little guy, had little hope of surviving in the wild. Star Wars fan and animal caregiver Darren Squires named him Jabba after Jabba the Hutt. I mean, Sonic would be the other option, but, if he's going to be fat and all, I guess Jabba works. So, poor guy is now on a strict regimen of liquid dog food served once a day in a controlled portion.
Liquid dog food?
That sounds delicious. Much more delicious than regular dog food.
But really so much cuter than Jabba.
Yeah, he is cute. Who would have thought that he's 3 times the size of a regular hedgehog?
I don't know what the average size of a regular hedgehog would be.
Oh, that's them weighing him. I'm like, why are they putting him in a bread basket? Which shows what I know about hedgehogs.
Okay, so maybe that's a regular size.
Yeah, okay. It's big. He's a big boy.
Sure.
Cute, though. All right, coming up is a big day for UConn today. The school is introducing its new athletic director. We'll tell you what's in store for a press conference set for later this morning.
And it is Super Tuesday. Presidential hopefuls are looking to lock in as many delegates as possible. Coming up, I'll break down the map and give a look at how this all might shake out.